on the weekend I did a very impromptu flash sale where I offered 15% off all items in my store, as small as my store is at the moment. I didn't get the memberships up and running. It was only partway through I realised that I hadn't actually switched the membership on, so that's a big boo-boo from me. So I'll get that set up for the weekend, but it was important I had the emails set up and the coupons were working. I don't want to talk about sales or anything like that. I'm not going to go into that, but what I want to talk about is how I was advertising it, because I thought this is a good opportunity to try out the TikTok advertising and Instagram advertising. Now, some of you may know that I've been having a lot of problems with Instagram and Facebook setting that up. It's been a lot more tedious and involved than it actually needed to be. So I've set up on TikTok you can have your main account, and your main account can be linked to your shop, and they're like a little different tag, which I think is really nice. On Facebook or Instagram, not so much. You have to have a basic separate account for your shop, and that's what I've been trying to do, set up a separate account but keep it attached to a different email, to my personal email, because I don't want the two things linked. Never mind, let's talk about the advertising. So Instagram hasn't really changed that much, apart from the fact that you can't edit the ad whilst it's running. It used to be that you could pause it, change the ad, submit it again, carry on. Used to be able to do it with the audience. You can do that with your picture, but you could do it with the rest of your bits and pieces as well. So that's no longer an option. You used to be able to do it in the app, but you can't do that anymore. And you're supposed to go through Meta's business account, which isn't fully separate from Facebook yet. So you have to sign up to Facebook, and then Facebook pings you over to a separate thing, which you have to fill out forms again, which is ridiculous. Anyway, so it's nice that it's still growing, and you can still focus on your audience. It's very good. I've noticed the cost is doubled or tripled since the last time I did it, and that's only in the space of, last advert I put on Instagram was about 4 years ago, just before the troubles. And yeah, it's much more expensive now. Click through, how was that? It was nice that I could target the audience. I got a lot of views, I got a few likes, not much. Not many people clicking through. That was interesting. Even though the Instagram actually had a button, not many people actually clicked through to look at the page. So I would have expected a higher click through, even for people just looking at the page and not buying anything. But when I compare the stats from Instagram to my actual website, there's no conversion. It's a very small percentage. So that's quite interesting. Maybe it's something to do with the advert, or the fact that it's hard to leave Facebook, hard to get out Meta to your website, which kind of makes the advert kind of pointless unless you're promoting your Instagram thing. And because I haven't got an Instagram shop set up at the moment, I can't sell from Instagram shop. So I suspect what this is about driving traffic to your Instagram shop rather than your website. It's the jumping from Facebook to Instagram which didn't happen. So, and then a couple of subscribes, hardly any subscribes. So, although that wasn't what I was targeting. TikTok, that was an interesting experience. So TikTok adverts sort of present themselves as the same way as Instagram, and it almost is, except they quote you how much the advert will cost, and then you have to go off and buy TikTok coins. But the TikTok coins are only available in certain denominations, so you can get a block of 10 or a block of 100 or a block of 1,000 or a block of 5,000. You have to do this weird mental arithmetic like you do in a video game. You have to buy the currency of the game, basically, game currency, and then you pay for the advert out of that. But of course, you can't buy exactly what you need. You have to buy them in the blocks. You end up buying more than you need. So you spend more money than you actually need. Maybe in the long run, you don't. The second thing was when it actually comes to paying for it, the price they quote is not the final price. They put on a service fee on top of that as well, and you only find out about that when you get to the checkout, or I was charged a service fee. So that was interesting. Pricing is kind of comparable. It's not super cheap like it used to be, but it's doable. The target of the audience though in TikTok was not good. It's a very smooth process of setting up the advertising. It's a little bit obtuse, a little bit difficult. Setting up the shop is fine. I've got a shop set up and I haven't quite put my products in there. I'm still trying to work out a way to do it automatically from my shop. You can choose age brackets, which is basically sort of like the advertising, 17 to 28, 26 to 36 or whatever, with the little the brackets, but you can't get more granular than that. And you can choose roughly what people are interested in, but you can't really dive down. With Instagram, you can make a list of really dive down and get really targeted with it. So you can say you want 22 to 42-year-olds who like science fiction, t-shirts, and then maybe like particular artist or whatever. You can put that sort of level of detail in there, maybe an area as well. TikTok, you can do the world, Europe, North America, or England. You can't like do your areas. You can't really advertise locally. But I found the whole TikTok advert experience a bit wanting, considering the way everything else is set up and how easy and efficient everything is. Advertising not so, and I was like, that's interesting. And again, I got the same sort of thing. I got very good responses actually on TikTok, very good. But you have to sort of temper that with the fact that Instagram doesn't start counting views until after a couple of seconds, whereas TikTok counts the first second. And as we all know, a lot of people just flick. It takes a second for someone to flick the thing on. So it's I rather prefer the more honest approach of Instagram, which kind of gets rid of the first couple of seconds of views. It's like, that's not really a view, that's just someone swiping, and I didn't get any click-throughs. It turned out the problem is that on my video, I assumed it was the same. As you type in the link you want and everything, and it processes and goes through, but there wasn't a link that came up. Now, I thought initially that was just because of how I was viewing it at my end. Where the link button should be was an insight button, and insights, you don't get insights if you adverts on TikTok either until the TikTok campaign or the ad is done at the end of the first run. I don't know if it's daily or just at the end of the total run. So if you do for a week, you won't get results for a week. I'm not sure about that. And a button, like a link through button, you have to be a business, can't be like a creator or anything. You have to be a business, and if you put that little link button you see on other people's video, you need to do that when you upload the video in the first place. You need to be thinking much further ahead. You can't take an old advert like I did, or an old video, and think, oh well, this will do as my advert. Instagram advertising for selling stuff, I don't know if it's a good thing or not. Maybe I do need to open up like an Etsy shop and start selling on the Etsy shop as well, which is a bit of a bugger because of what they charge, but it might be something I just have to do and see and go from there. But it's early days.